Listen closely. I have a dream that young people would be informed and empowered to make the right decisions about their money. Welcome to Ground Zero, your go-to source for everything finance. Each week, we will bring you insights and analysis on the latest in the world of finance, as well as practical advice on how you can navigate the often complex world of personal finance, from budgeting, savings and investments, credit and debt management. We'll cover it all so you can make the best and informed decisions about your money. Join us as we explore the world of finance and help you build a strong financial foundation for your future. Listen in every Sunday at 14 hours as we swim through the world of personal finance. Welcome to Ground Zero. Welcome home.
Mlipwanji. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the second episode of Ground Zero podcast.
Beautiful Sunday. It's the 22nd of January. And I just definitely hope that you had an amazing week. Previous week, that is. I hope you had an amazing week listening to understanding your relationship with money, which is our first episode on this financial edition of Ground Zero podcast. We did just have Wyson introduce the second episode, and I definitely do hope it's a good morning. I definitely do hope it's a good afternoon and a good evening, depending on the time that you're playing this audio right now. Well, many other times that we hear this term, swung around places and all these fancy words come out after hearing it. Yes, it is a word that is actually clicking in our hands. That's the concept of financial planning. In this conversation with a friend of mine, what I actually picked out was he elaborated that most of the times when the term financial planning is heard is in conversations with people that wear suits and white collar shirts, working in white collar jobs. And these are things that young people from an average background are not exactly privy to. So we thought it wise for us to have a conversation on financial planning. As such, my duty here is as simple as it gets. That is to explain it in a way that each and every person would understand it and start the necessary steps to apply it to their personal lives. Yes, you do hear of the word financial planning in cooperatives, in organizations, in the country, when we've got our honorable minister talking about how you need to plan about the country's debt restructuring, how we need to plan for the next year. As such, we do budgets and present them in parliament and all of these kind of related aspects. But how many of us actually do think and narrow it down to a perspective where I think as an individual I need to have a financial plan? That being the case, remember in the previous episode we actually discussed the concept of your relationship with money, and in it we spoke of us envisioning ourselves in just how much we want to touch that vision with our hands, how we can touch the future by having a positive relationship with money, by having a very good relationship with money. Well, in this episode, we are going to imagine that future as we plan it from a financial perspective. So, what I did was I kind of moved around and interacted with a few people just to get to understand if they do have a financial plan, if they have planned for their money for a particular period of time. It can be a week, a day, a month, a year, name it. Just moved around to ask a couple of random people a couple of random questions. So listen in, and as I come back, we're going to explain what financial planning is. We're going to explain the process that you can use to plan for your personal life financially, its importance, and the effects of you not having a financial plan. So welcome to Ground Zero podcast. Welcome if you're listening to us again. Welcome if it's your first time here. We hope you enjoy your stay and we hope you get understanding. Do you have a financial plan?
Yes, I do.
Do you have a financial plan for this month with your money?
Yes, I do.
Have you planned for this year?
Exactly.
That's what the extensive. Have you planned for this week?
Yeah, I've got a plan for this week, for this month, in the next 1 month, in the next 6 months, and throughout the year. I always have the financial plan for everything.
Thank you so much, Wyson.
You're welcome.
Cleopas, do you have a financial plan?
Yes.
You sure?
Yes.
Have you planned your money for this month?
No.
Have you planned your money for this week?
For this week, yes.
How about the whole year?
No.
Alan, do you have a financial plan?
No.
Why not?
Because I've never thought of that.
Okay, great, thanks. Do you have a financial plan?
No,
Why not?
because I don't know anything about the financial plan, so
Would you love to learn about financial planning?
very.
Okay, listen to Ground Zero on Sunday at 14 hours.
All right, okay.
Thanks. Hey Sharon, how are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks. Do you have a financial plan?
Not really.
Why don't you have a financial plan?
Nah, I don't know. I've never planned and I've never thought about it.
Okay, would you, when best do you plan for your money? If you do.
Maybe 2 months from now, I'd love to do that.
Okay, interesting. Would you love to learn about financial planning?
Yeah, I would love to. I would love you to teach me more about it.
Good, I'm doing an episode on Sunday. You should listen to it.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Hi, Mr. Perry.
Hello.
Do you have a financial plan?
Nope.
Why not?
Because the year just began. I haven't put my house in order.
Did you think before the year began you should have at least planned for this year?
I actually planned on how I'm going to finish the financial year for last year because I was in bad debt.
Hey, Praise, how are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm alright, thanks. What's funny? Why are you scared?
No, I'm not scared.
Okay.
It might just be.
Okay, good. Do you have a financial plan?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, have you planned your money for this month?
This month, no.
Okay. How extensive is your financial plan?
I think 5-6 months.
Okay, that does is this month included in the 6 months?
Yeah. So maybe to answer your question, like just specifically for this month, no, but 5-6 months, yeah. So this month is included.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Praise.
You're welcome.
Do you have a financial plan for this year?
For the university or for myself?
For yourself?
Yes.
Okay, I just forgot to mention he's a bazaar for the university. That's why he's saying for the university for himself. Do you have a financial plan for this month?
Yes. I have a financial plan for every month in my life.
How extensive are you with your financial plans and how detailed are they to ensure that you implement them properly?
They're not that detailed, I'll give you that. Because of a lot of eventualities that come up. But I just look at the major expenses and the income, revenues.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So different responses from different kinds of people, from those who know little to nothing about what a financial plan is and no experience of financial planning, to those who have planned for as far as a year, and those who have made it a culture for them to literally plan their lives financially. Question is, what is financial planning? What does it mean to have a financial plan? How does it look like? How does it feel like? Well, stop imagining that, because it doesn't look like anything, at least physically, But a financial plan or financial planning is a process of creating a strategy to manage your finances in order to reach your short and long-term goals, right? In simple terms, a financial plan is you assessing where you are and you envisioning where you want to be financially, right? So remember in the previous episode when we kind of went back to imagine where we want to be in future, the kind of assets we want to have, the level of influence that we want to have as young people, 10, 15, 20 years from now. A financial plan has the same concept, but we are looking at the financial aspect of things, where you look at what's my current situation. Now let's speak to process, shall we? What's my current situation? Well, this may be called as something as an assessment. Let's see if we can tag 5 steps to the concept of financial planning, right? So the first one being assessment, obviously, where you have to assess your current position as a person, as an individual. How much debt do I have? How many streams of income do I have? What is my aggregate income per month, right? Your current financial situation, that's you assessing yourself. You want to know your flow of finances, right? just what's my net worth, right? Other people literally think they can't measure their net worth because it's not in millions for some reason. That's a different conversation for another day. But when you are assessing yourself financially as a first step to you actually having a financial plan, you're clearly looking at where you are now so that you have a better understanding of where you want to be. So what happens next after you know where you are, after you know how much money you get on aggregate, after you know exactly what you're worth, after you know how much debt you have and things like that, what you do thereafter, you set goals, right? However, I would advise that after you have determined where you are, you envision where you want to get. You jump to the last step. That's me now giving radical advice. You jump to the last step. You kind of think, okay, this is where I am now. And in 10 years' time, if I'm currently worth, for example, 50,000 kwacha, in 10 years' time, I want to be worth $1 billion, right? So when you know where you are and where you want to go, what do you do next? You set goals. Goals are targets that are achievable, specific, and they're within the framework of time. Goals can be, okay, since for me to reach $1 billion in 20 years' time, what is it that I should hit as a goal every year? Right? Now that's when the conversation actually starts with yourself, don't you think? While you look at, okay, you know what? I think if I'm to get $1 billion in 10, 20 years, each and every year, so much in millions must be the target for me. So much in millions must be the goal for me to reach, right? After you set those goals per year or per 2 years or per 3 years, what you do next is you set a plan to achieve those goals. Because obviously, they don't just happen. No miracle just falls from heaven and says, boom, voila, you have the $1 million. You literally have to plan for it in a way. You have to sit, you have to be very honest with yourself, and you have to start planning. You're like, cool, great, I have these goals, I have these targets that I must reach. How best can I reach them? Does it mean that you have to increase on your streams of income? Does it mean that you have to reduce on the amount of debt that you're getting? Does it mean that you have to reduce on your careless expenses? Does it mean that you literally have to ensure that you save more or that you invest more? That's you planning for your goals, right? Obviously, each and every year, the goal is different or maybe the same, but the plan must be readjusted because obviously this kind of things come in, inflation and other economic factors, things that are unforeseen. But you need a plan to get to your goal, because if you don't get to your goal, you won't get to your $1 billion, right? Thereafter, what do? So we have where we are now financially, we have where we want to get, we have specific goals that we want to achieve. Now we have a plan of exactly how to achieve those goals. What do we know? What do we do next? What we do thereafter is we execute that plan, right? We put it into motion. We put it into play. We start it. We commence it. We bon voyage it. That's what we do. We literally say, okay, you know what? Boom, let's get started. It's not about, let me wait until Friday. Start now, chief. Start from somewhere. Do 1 or 2 things today. That is definitely going to end to, by the end of the year, something is going to be there. So the roommate that I have actually has a whole plan for the love of numbers written on his wall, saying if I save this much per day, by the end of the year I've got this much, right? So that's some kind of plan. So when you're executing it, you need to start as early as you can. Start for your sake of your own discipline. Start. Most of the time, well, that's a different conversation. Anyway, going back to the conversation, when you're executing your plan, you literally have to pay particular attention to the changes that are happening along the way so that you keep on readjusting. That process is called monitoring, which is like the third process. Just like if you're following, it's a 4th step now, right? It's 4th step. So you have to monitor how your plan is going. It's the first month, how's my plan going? Second month, how's my plan going? Third month, how's my plan going? You're monitoring so that you're able to see and fill in gaps where you're seeing loopholes, right? Because obviously, when you envision 10 years from today, the economy is not going to be the same. Opportunities are not going to be the same. So you have to keep on readjusting. You have to keep on refining, fine-tuning your plan to ensure that it suits your needs, that you reach your goal, that you get to $1 billion, right? So as you're monitoring your plan, effectively thereafter you have to consistently evaluate. At one particular point in time, maybe after you reach your 1 year first goal, you're like, okay, cool, great, 1 year. How far have I come? How exactly have I done this? Where am I impressed with myself? Where am I disappointed in myself? This is when you literally sit down and have an honest conversation with yourself and say, you know what, I don't think we did good there. We can readjust there. All right? You have monitored your plan. You're now evaluating it so that as you begin your second year to achieve $1 billion in 10, 20 years, you have learned some lessons and you are literally becoming better each and every day. So that's the whole concept of, oh, okay, I think, you know what, let me follow this step. So initially what you'd want to do is you want to assess where you are. You'll have to envision where you want to be. You need to set goals of how you're going to get where you want to be. You need to establish a plan in motion. Then when you do that, you have to execute your plan. You have to monitor that plan and you have to evaluate it. Now someone is like, Chief, this is so complicated. This is a lot to take in. Well, in as much as it may seem to be a lot to take in, for the sake of your discipline and for the sake of you reaching the financial goals and targets that you have actually set, it's something that must be done. So in a way, not all of us are disciplined financially as would want to be, or as people would want to make it seem like. Obviously, along the way, you need to develop the art or the discipline of recording your finances, meaning you record what you earn versus what you spend. You need to be careful with what you spend on. There are some things you just have to say, hey, you know what, I'm not going to spend on this. There's some things that you literally have to stop yourself from doing, saying, hey, I'm not going to buy this year, and things like that. So financial planning is critical to your life. Financial planning plays a vital role in you achieving the greater part of the vision that you literally have as a person, as a human being, because money is something that must be treated with respect, as I would call it, in my own opinion. It's not all of us that have grown in homes where the concept of savings and investment is the song of the day. Most Zambian youths are growing up in homes where the story of the day is spending money, paying back debt, spending whatever that comes in, paying back debt. What that does innately at the back of your head is that it kind of narrows down a software of consistently having to spend and, paying back debt. So even you as a person, if that's the kind of environment that you've grown up in, you kind of less see the value of investment. And if you do at a particular point in time, you have to couch that discipline of investing, saving money, and things like that. All right. As such, this is where we need to have such kind of conversations. So primarily, that's what financial planning is. That's the kind of process you may want to follow when you're planning for your finances. And yeah, if you go back to the questions I was asking my people, I kind of asked, did you plan for your money daily, today, this week, this month? That question was actually being asked to kind of have a feel of if individuals do definitely plan for their money for those periods of time, which I feel we should start doing. If you say, hey, I think, I don't know, I think in this week, this is how much I can spend max. When you set a threshold of how much you can spend every week, you're doing that because, at the end of the year, boom, you need to reach $1 million, right? So this is me using $1 million because I'm trying to be optimistic. I hope I get to $1 million anyway. But I think that's the whole essence, that's the whole idea of us interacting. So please, I will encourage you again, find a financial podcast to listen to. Find time to listen to financial related information. Find time to read financial related books. Find time to educate yourself in finance, in personal finance. You don't need to do a degree in accounts, in finance for you to learn how to handle your personal money. You don't need to do a bachelor's in something, in some finance course or anything like that for you to learn how to do your money. Information is readily available. Please be sure to learn more, to engage more. Ground Zero is exactly available for that. So the primary episodes that we're doing are mainly broad, but each and every time we'll be kind of narrowing down into specifics that we kind of educate ourselves into these related aspects. So in our next episode, we're definitely going to have a few things to discuss over around the concept of savings, so that we just kind of have a broad understanding around that and kind of learn one or two, three things from the same area. Otherwise, Ground Zero is a financial platform for young people to clearly listen to, understand, and engage. And I must make mention, this year I dedicated myself to ensuring that I start facilitating financial information. And I'm studying with Crystal University, student-based. So every Friday is a student platform for me to just interact with students about finances, something called Student Finance Circle, that we get to interact and definitely share thoughts, ideas, and to see how best we can grow in the world of finance. So my advice to you is have a financial plan, stick to your financial plan, readjust your financial plan, and learn more about personal finance. It has been Enoch, your host on Ground Zero Podcast. And before I leave, please check out the YouTube channel Ground Zero Money. That's our platform where we're going to be sharing videos, tips, and everything else on finance that all of us are educated. Have a lovely week. Be sure to listen to the first episode and this episode and wait for the next episode. Visit the Facebook page, that's Ground Zero Podcast Zambia, so that you are able to read through a few articles on personal finance as well. There's some education there for you and me to get to interact. And please, you can interact with me at any time. There's a link in the description where you can just click, send a message. I'll definitely get it. And let's get to talk more. Let's get to interact. It has been Enoch, and I wish you a lovely week. Listen closely. I have a dream that young people would be informed and empowered to make the right decisions about their money. Welcome to Ground Zero, your go-to source for everything finance. Each week, we will bring you insights and analysis on the latest in the world of finance, as well as practical advice on how you can navigate the often complex world of personal finance, from budgeting, savings and investments, credit and debt management. We'll cover it all so you can make the best and informed decisions about your money. Join us as we explore the world of finance and help you build a strong financial foundation for your future. Listen in every Sunday at 14 hours as we swim through the world of personal finance. Welcome to Ground Zero. Welcome home.